welcome to Mr. Franklin Explains Some Math. Here we're looking at a trigonometry problem. We've got a couple of things to consider. First, we've got to figure out what the problem gives us, what the problem is looking for, and how we're going to get there. The answer to how we're going to get there is one of the three trig ratios in SOHCAHTOA. So let's take a look at this and dive right in. In this problem, let's think about what do we have. In this case, we have the hypotenuse. Okay, so we can use that. We have the angle theta equals 39, so we can use that. What do we need? Well, we're looking for x, of course, and in this case we've got to identify which side of the triangle, opposite, hypotenuse, or adjacent, we're talking about. And since this is right next to the angle, but it's not the hypotenuse, then x is the adjacent side. ADJ, or just A. And how are we going to get it? In this case, let's look at SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA is the mnemonic for the three trig ratios, right? Where S is sine, C is cosine, and T is tangent. We've got to figure out what we have. Well, let's see. We have the hypotenuse, and we're looking for the adjacent, and we are given the angle. So what we need to do is figure out which of the three trig ratios relates adjacent and hypotenuse to each other. So that's the one that has the A and the H in it. Hopefully you see now that that is cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Let's write that out. So the cosine of the angle theta equals adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Or let's set that up a little bit better. By plugging in some numbers, we know that the cosine of 39 equals the adjacent, which is x, divided by 7. There's two ways to proceed from here. Some people automatically like to go to the calculator and find the cosine of 39. We're going to do that this time. Personally, and I'll show this in a future problem, I'm sure, is I like to solve for x first and then go to the calculator to find cosine of 39. It's totally just personal preference. So in this case, let's go figure out what cosine of 39 is. I'm going to use the calculator provided by Google, but you can use the app on your phone, you can use a TI calculator, some other calculator, you name it. There's lots of ways to do this. You could totally just ask Siri. This is very important. This might be the most important thing to learn in trig other than SOHCAHTOA. Make sure that your calculator is in degrees, not radians. There's also something called gradians, G-R-A-D. Nobody uses that. Degrees, it's really important to make sure that your calculator is set in degrees. So once it's set in degrees, I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to do cosine of 39, enter. And it tells me that the answer is 0.7771. And whenever we're working with trig, please round off to 4 decimal places, because the difference between two answers might be out here in the third or fourth decimal place. So we're going to use 4 decimal places, and our answer is 0.7771. So 0.7771 equals x over 7. of course, solve for x by multiplying both sides by 7. Let's go back over here to the Google calculator and hit times 7, enter, and my answer is 5.4400. I'll just take that as 5.44, but round off to 4 decimal places unless otherwise noted. And that's our answer. In this case, we're given the problem, this triangle with angle 39, hypotenuse is 7, and we're looking for the adjacent. We don't care about the opposite right now. We could go solve for it, but we don't care about it right now. Only x, the adjacent, and we just found out that x equals 5.44. And that's how you solve for a missing side using trigonometry.